Hi everyone, Alex here, and in today's video, I want to talk about the relationships in your life. Well, we all have different types of relationships, right? We have parental, family, friends, coworkers, acquaintances, strangers. I mean, there's so many different types of people in our lives, and sometimes it can get a little bit confusing or just a lot. You know, like should you act with strangers the same way you act with your friends, or should you stay away from strangers? People tell us to stay away from strangers, but literally you can only make friends with strangers, so it's kind of counterintuitive. So anyway, what is this video all about? This video is going to be about how your relationships affect your happiness. Okay? Do your relationships make you happy? And I think it's a very important question to ask each and every one of us, because literally, if you watched my previous video, it was all about the 5 things that kind of make you happy. And one of the things was relationships. And I want to dive deeper into this because I think that it's one of the main things that can either make or break your happiness, simply because relationships have a way to kind of get through to us and kind of make us change sometimes. It's in my life anyway. I've been in relationships where I wasn't myself, and it kind of scared me because when I was alone, I was me, and when I was with friends, I was me, and when I was with family, I was me, and when I was with like one person or another, or girls that I was dating, it would be kind of different. Like I'd feel like I was acting. And it never made me feel good inside after I hung out with them. So the most important thing, I think, in relationships, right, is, it's funny because there's this saying that it's not about how, for love, right? It's not how she makes you feel. It's not how you feel about her. It's how you feel. It's how she makes you feel about. Let me say that again. Some quotes and some movies, they say that it's in relationships, right, with you and a woman, or a man, or a woman and a man, or a woman and a woman. It's not how he or she makes you feel about her. It's how he or she makes you feel about yourself. And in other movies and other quotes and the other side of the coin, it's like, no, it's not about how she makes you feel about you, it's how you feel about her, right? Like, that's how you choose a right partner and the right relationships. But honestly, which one is it? Is it one or the other? Well, here's my opinion. Feel free to disagree with me. But I think the most important thing is, well, it's how it makes you feel about yourself, any relationship. So not just with women or guys or loving relationships. I think that literally friendships, family, and the relationship you have with yourself even, I push it that far, where honestly, if you're not friends with you and you don't feel good with you, then I think that is one of the relationships that is the most important. And in my life, I realized that being in a good relationship with myself has been honestly the best way to actually have great relationships with other people, because it starts with yourself, right? And people forget that. I know some people kind of know. It's like, oh yeah, of course I have to have a good relationship with myself, but what does that really mean in the long term and for life, right? If you have a good relationship with yourself through your years, then you're just generally going to have a better life. But let's get back to the topic of today, which is basically, are your relationships making you happy? So to settle the debate, my opinion on if it's how they make you feel about yourself, how you feel about them, I think that it's how it makes you feel. Period. So how do you feel when you're around those people? I mean, do they make you feel good, bad? But let's break it down even more. The most important thing, I think, is feeling like you are you, right? Not feeling like you're someone else when you're with them, like you're not acting, right? And how do you know that? Well, our bodies are very, very good at telling us when something's wrong. we have this thing called intuition, right? It could be a feeling in our gut, it can be in our head, in our hearts, whatever it is. And that feeling allows us to like know right from wrong, know if we're doing something right or doing something wrong. And when we're doing something wrong, it feels super crappy. And when things are going well, then it feels awesome. But when does this intuition fail us? Well, honestly, it fails us when we stop listening to it. So when you're with these people, right, when you're with a family member or friends or coworkers or whatever, and your intuition is kind of, you feel it's out of whack, like it feels kind of weird, then those people, well, you should stay away from. And I know it's hard sometimes if it's a coworker, you're there at work and it's just like, damn, you know, like that person is with me 24/7 or at least 8 hours a day and I have to deal with them, right? Well, here's a little trick to block that out, okay? The only way that you're going to be able to block out someone's toxicity or negative effect on you, where they make you feel like not good about yourself when you're with them, is simply to block them out of your world, period. You block them out of your world. And a really easy way to do that is exactly that, to focus on something else when something happens that is not pleasant. So let's say that person, let's say you're working at a cash register and that person is at the cash behind you. Well, there's so many other things going on that you can focus on, like, well, your cash, the customers, things going on like around, I don't know, like more customers and other people, right? There's always an alternative. Now, if it's something like a spouse or a friend that you hang out with a lot, then that's a little bit more complicated, but it doesn't have to be. That relationship, since it's considered important, it can be your number one priority to either get away from or fix it, right? You can either try to fix it or get away from it. And sometimes just getting away from it is the easiest and simplest option, because not everything is meant to be fixed, and some things are just lessons. So that's really my kind of opinion on how to keep your relationships happy. And in my life, I only hang out with people that make me feel like myself and that make me feel like super happy about what I'm doing and moving forward. And you know, like everyone has a type of person that they kind of associate with, and it's important to kind of know what type of person makes you happy, right? Like I don't get along with everyone, like that would be impossible. But for a long time I tried to, because I was like, hey, they're human beings, everyone's going through things, and I can deal with everyone's crap, right? Because, you know, like I had an overinflated sense of myself, and it's not always good, because when you're trying to be friendly with everyone, right? It takes a toll on you in the long run, because you're always like kind of taking it, right? And I know a lot of you can probably relate to that, but that's really like the guidance, right? For that, it doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes it's just as simple as, well, does this person make me feel good in the moment when I'm with them? And also, how do they make me feel after I stop being with them? Like when I think about them, do I think of good things, or do I have a crappy feeling, or do I not want to think about them? And that's a very big indicator, because people should be awesome to think about. Like when I think about my best friends, I always think like, wow, like we had a good time last time, and it's just awesome. But when I think of other people, I'm like, I have these bad feelings. I'm just, generally, it goes like this. Like, the thought of someone would like enter my mind because, I don't know, like I saw something on social media or something in the world like reminded me of them. And I would literally like go like, oh, that person. And then I try to think about something else. And those people I try to stay the most away from, because at the end of the day, there's so many other things to think about, right? There's situations, there's your future, there's the people, the relationships that you actually have that are good. And these relationships, they don't have to be like your family, your friends, your coworkers. They could literally even be online friends. Like, I used to play a lot of video games, and I would be in some like matches where the people there would just be so toxic that I just couldn't, like, it would just be unpleasant. And then there would be other matches where there would be like a bunch of awesome people. And I value those relationships as well, even though they're ephemeral, right? Maybe I'm like, not really hanging out, but like I'm on the same team as those people for about 45 minutes. During those 45 minutes, I value those relationships because they're real people, and you know, it's all about keeping good memories in the long run. If you're able to have good memories about the people, the situations, and the life that you're actually living and creating for yourself, then at the end of the day, that's what's most important. And too many of us, we get caught up in the negativity of our past, of our negative memories or negative people. And like, think about your life as like kind of like a road. Okay, you're going on this road, good things happen, bad things happen. But when you look back on it, let's say you're here, the road's like here, you're there, and you look back on your life, this is like memory, right? And why think about the negative stuff when you could just think about the positive stuff? You know what I mean? So when you look back and you think about everything that's happened, you can either focus on the negative or the positive. But if you just focus on the positive, then it just allows you to, well, pretty much like remember all of the good things about life, period, without remembering the bad. Okay, and also that's a little secret. Okay, if you look back on the past and see only positive, then the positivity in your life is just going to increase. Right? It's a law of the universe that whatever you focus on grows. Right? If you focus on positivity, then the positivity in your life is going to grow. So that's not to put like pressure on you, right? Like there's no such thing as putting mental pressure on you. It's really just a choice, right? And just replace a negative thought with a positive thought. Now, obviously, it's easier said than done, but I say this in a lot of my videos. Mental health is a muscle, and basically, having a good mental health allows you to create a better life for yourself. And that's partly why I make these videos, honestly, because I believe that if everyone around me has good mental health and is seeing life positively, then in general, my life is going to get better. And I see it every day. In situations like at the gym or hanging out with people or even online, just putting out positivity usually just helps me be more happy. Like, I literally get so much feedback from all different places, and all these different places, it's just beautiful, like messages and just people smiling. Sometimes people smile at me in the street. Anyway, I don't want to get too much into that because honestly, this is not about me, this is about you. So I guess it's just to kind of tell you that, you know, what I say, I practice what I preach. And, you know, like, happiness is not really like a practice. It's not like a subject matter in school. They don't teach you like how to be happy or like, you know, like how to improve your life generally. And some of us don't have good parents who don't teach us that either. They're too caught up in their own things. So honestly, like, this is my gift to whoever's listening. So thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, wherever you're watching this, subscribe and like this video if you liked it. Moreover, you can share it with a friend who I don't know, who likes happiness. Okay, thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.